This episode 2, I'm going to give y'all a cheat code. A real, sincere cheat code. I came up making beats on an MPC 2000. One of my boys who used to make beats for me back in the days couldn't make beats for me no more. So I empowered myself and I grabbed me up an MPC 2000. He gave me some of the basics on how to work it, and it was off to the races. So I graduated from the MPC 2000 to the 2000 XL, and then to Native Instruments Machine. I think I've had maybe every version of the machine that there was up until the standalone unit. I didn't purchase the standalone unit. I just kind of didn't see a need for it for what I was doing. Right? My main concern for making beats was to be able to supply myself as an artist so that I wouldn't have to just constantly worry about the paperwork that is involved with buying beats from somebody or, asking people to be generous with extending beats to me for free. All right, so I, after a while, decided to minimize my setup to lessen my footprint. I ended up selling majority of my production gear, which was like machine, the complete keyboard, and some other things. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw people getting a lot out of their computers, just literally out of their computers, and like little small pieces, like a little itty bitty keyboard and stuff like that. All right, so that's just some of the backdrop, right? I ended up linking up with these dudes who put me on to this program. Now, I'm a preference this by saying I knew about the program. I just didn't want to invest in the program because it was too much money. I thought it was too expensive, and I didn't know if it was capable of doing what it said it could do. So I skipped on it. This dude, he posted some stuff, and I was like, I got tagged in his post for some weird reason, and we ended up communicating, and he let me use one of the licenses for this particular program. I paid him for it eventually, but then I felt that the program was so valuable that I didn't want to be attached to somebody else in order to use it. What if me and this particular person have a rift or something, and they decide to change their codes and all that, and I'm just kind of left out in the dark when I kind of created a workflow around the thing. So I bought the program myself because it proved to be that valuable to me. All right, so that's enough talking on that. I'm gonna put y'all on to the cheat code for making beats. All right, so this is my computer. This is Logic Pro X, right? I'm gonna bring down this curtain so we got a little bit of privacy in here. And I would do the screen share thing, but to be quite honest with you, I don't think it's necessary in this particular case. All right. So boom. The app that I'm gonna use, all right, is called Unison Midi Wizard. Now, don't get your panties in a bunch talking about, I heard of that plugin, that shit is whack, this, that, and the third. Listen, part of me feels like some of y'all are being cheap. A part of me feels like some of y'all are just talking without actually knowing how to use this particular uh, plugin, all I can say is let the use of this thing be your teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like find out for yourself, because everybody's gonna talk you into not doing something that might be the best move you've ever made. Right? So boom. I struggled with getting my beats to sound extremely musical and stuff like that. It was more as a sample based genre. I was doing a lot of boom bap. And funny enough, you can kind of flip boom bap with this app too. You just got to know how to do boom bap, and then you could kind of manipulate it to resemble it in a way, right? So boom, this plugin is called Midi Wizard, right? Midi Wizard comes with a whole bunch of different musical genres. I hope y'all can see that. You know, funk, hip hop, Latin reggaeton, reggae, all that stuff, right? It comes with your keys, right? C major, E flat minor. So it does help to know a little bit about theory, but like nothing so crazy that, you know, you got to be a composer or nothing like that. But this program kind of makes you into one, right? You got your chords here, you got your melodies here, you got your number of bars, 4 or 8. You could start at I think this is like C3, or then you can go down an octave or you can go up an octave. When you're in this space right here, which generates your notes, you right click and you get these options, right? You can put a grid in there, 1/16, so you can choose particular places that you want to generate notes in, so forth and so on. All right, so boom, just to show you how this has amplified my process in production and made it so that I can churn out production faster with a higher level of quality. I'm gonna make something real quick. All right. So okay, boom. Let's say we go to the E minor scale, right? That's G major, which is E minor, right? Let's say we do chords, right? What I've noticed, right, is that certain of these genres work well with other genres in this particular drop down menu. So let's go with hip hop, right? For me, I've noticed hip hop and ambient and down tempo work pretty well together when you want to get like a blend of different um, midis that still make sense with each other, and you don't want to like over saturate yourself in one particular genre. I find these two work together for me personally. All right? So okay, let's go to ambient and down tempo E minor, and let's generate some chords. Boom. All right, this is the chord structure that it generated. Right, so you gotta just a heads up. You gotta kind of know what sounds good, or have an idea of what sounds good, so that you can kind of bend the rules to make your own version of what sounds good. Right, so you gotta be a listener of music. Right, so boom, I'm gonna go over here and I'm going to go to my initial audio heat up 3. This is one of the better VSTs that I have bought along my journey of music production. I bought the entire suite. It cost like about maybe $800 at the time that I bought it, and I haven't been disappointed with it at all. Not even in the least bit. This is a tool that I run to quite often. All right. So I'm gonna go to this particular piano that I use. It's in arps and sequences. Right. I go down to where is it? Sequence Better Now, SE. Right. I choose that. Then I go to to the browser. No, pardon me. To the sequencer, and I turn this on off because it like arpeggiates your sound, and I don't necessarily care for that all the time. And then I put it back to the settings, and then I go down here to sample, and I turn the atmosphere layer off because that gives it like a, a burning sounding background. It's like a staticky sounding background. So I take that off because I don't necessarily care for that. All right, so boom. This is a MIDI that was generated by this wizard, right? Now, let me also say this. All right. Dudes be letting out melody packs. If you into melody packs, you can go crazy with this plugin. And if you're not into having to clear samples all the time, these are all original. Granted, I'm sure that some of the MIDIs that it spits out might resemble certain tunes that you may hear because, nothing's new under the sun. But with your involvement in creating the actual loop, you're going to come up with different stuff all the time, especially with sound selection, right? So, okay, no more, beating around the bush. This is the MIDI that it generated. Okay, I played 4 bars because I got it on a 4-bar loop over here. All right, put that to 8 bar, and the tempo that I got here is 170. All right, so this is playing at 170. Now, this plugin is not meant for you to give up on learning how to play an instrument or produce. It's meant to assist you. But if you're just trying to knock stuff out, you know what I'm saying, you can use it however you feel like. Don't let nobody put you in a position to limit your use of a particular tool. All right, so boom, I like that note, I like that note, I like that note, I don't like that note. So being that I set it up on the grid 1/16, I'm going to choose this space right here. All right, and I'm going to generate something different in E minor. I don't like that. Generate something again. Let me do it twice. But do you get what I'm saying? If you get that feel, right? It's taking you on a little bit of a journey. All right. So just to show you some more of what this is capable of doing, I'm gonna pick a melody, and I'm gonna go to hip hop. And in this space alone, I'm gonna have the chords playing here, but I'm gonna have a bit of a melody line playing in this section, just this section. I'm gonna generate something that looks appealing for me. Let's see that. You hear that, right? That was a nice little piece right there. I'm gonna change this note right here because I don't necessarily care for that. I'm gonna go back to chords. I'm gonna go back to ambient and down tempo. I'm gonna spit something out. Boom. Oh no, it's still on melody. I made a mistake, but let's see what it did. No. Okay. Still on ambient and down tempo. Go back to chords. Let's get a chord structure going here. Change that again. I'm gonna find something that I like. Okay, that kind of works. I don't necessarily want that, but just kind of giving you an option as to see what works and what doesn't. Also, this plugin allows you to create your own chords. So it's on D4 right now. You can move this to any note that you want it to be, right? So if you really know music theory and you know A's and E's go together and you want a particular chord here, you can draw that chord in yourself instead of generating until it comes up with something that you like, right? So that's a game changer right there. That's a jewel right there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just generate a chord that I feel works. Hmm. That chord works. Now I'm gonna change the last chord. Now, mind you, you can change everything here, right? By selecting the entire region and just changing everything. But that's not what I want. So I'm gonna go back to my previous version. You can go back and forward, right? And I'm gonna play it from bar 5. That works. That actually really does work. And for the sake of time, I'm gonna keep it. I would probably press the issue and like really find some. You know what? I'm gonna press the issue. Why not? Why not? We all here, right? We all here. We all learning, right? So why not? All right. So boom. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shorten this, right? And then I'm gonna choose this space, and then I'm gonna go to melody, and then I'm gonna pick hip hop, right? And then I'm gonna generate something in that space. Let's see what it generated. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I like that. Dun, dun. I don't like the last note, so let's see what I can come up with. Dun, 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 dun. The first note doesn't sound as pleasing on the loop to me, so let's try replacing that with another chord, right? It generated 2 chords for me in that 1 bar pattern. I'm gonna take off the second chord, right? And I'm gonna lengthen the first chord to take up the entire bar because I kind of liked how that sounded. All right. I think that's fire, right? That is fire to me, right? How long did that take me? About 5 minutes, right? Not saying that the time is always the most important thing, but it doesn't hurt. So this drag and drop from here feature allows me to take the MIDI that I just created and put it on in my DAW, right? So I turn this off, right? Close this. I now have a MIDI that doesn't sound amateur, that I just got to put some drums to, another little melody line, and maybe some modifications if I want some drops throughout the song. Great starting space, right? So what I'm gonna do here, just to kind of show you the power of this tool as a cheat code, is I'm gonna create a counter melody for these chords, right? It's the same thing. I'm gonna stay in the hip hop genre. Of course, I'm gonna stay in key, E minor. I'm gonna go to the melodies, and I'm going to start at the normal key range. I think it's in the threes, the C3s, right? I'm gonna pick a flute in this particular case. I don't know how these flutes sound. I don't play with the flutes much, but we're about to find out. All right, so boom, generate a melody. All right, let's turn it on. I think that's fire. All right, and already we sound better than 80% of the producers out here who is making music that don't know how to play an instrument. Not the ones that know what they doing, because some of these people that know what they doing really know how to put something together. But I'm just saying, for a person who's not as musically inclined with the theory and the knowledge and skill set to play an instrument fluently, this just takes a level of taste and the ability for you to know what works well together. So we have that loop, right? That's a loop right there. You feel me? You could do whatever with this. I'm gonna play it one more time. That's fire, right? Now, what I'm going to do in this particular instance, I'm going to bounce this down to one file, right? So I can manipulate it as a sample, right? Boom. So now I'm resampling. I'm sampling myself. You understand what I'm saying? If I want to do some boom bap, I've got a sample that I don't got to pay nobody for. This is all original. I haven't heard that nowhere, right? And I get to chop it up, flip it and bounce it, and put my spin to it to make it my own, right? So that's the sample. Let's just for giggles, hold on. Let's just let's reverse it. Let's see what it sounds like. That's fire. All right. And spruce it up a little bit, right? Just to show you the capabilities you have, right? Let's say you put some cable guys on it. Let's say you put a little halftime. You could get into the trap soul genre, right? Okay, let's not use halftime. I don't want to slow it down like that. Let's use slate. Let's use murder melodies, right? I like this plugin. All right, so and for the sake of not having this video be too long, I'm not going to put the drums on it here, but I got another cheat code for you for that too. Stay tuned, and when I upload the new video, check in and enjoy the content. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and consider investing in your tools to get the outcome that you desire. It's your boy Av, also known as Wings. I'm out. Produced by Wings. Peace.